Hi everyone, welcome back into another video. This week I want to talk about indicators or turn signals if you're American. Interesting one to do with the law regarding them. Do you have to have them? Are you allowed to not have them? Are you okay to just use your arm to signal? Because that's still considered law in terms of that's a signal to maneuver. Anyway, let's have a little chat about indicators and why I got pulled over by the police for mine. So going back around about 7 or 8 years ago now, I was doing some work on my original 99 Yamaha R6. And I was changing the back end, and as you'll know with lots of these modern bikes now, the way we have the rear hugger, or the rear, however the terminology for it, but what we strap the indicators and your license plate, registration plate, number plate, what that goes to, the rear hanger at the back, they're so low down now as standard, they're just ugly because they have to be a certain distance back from the wheel and down, and for whatever the rule is in terms of its dimensions and where it needs to sit in relation to the bike, it just means that they're really, really ugly things. So everyone gets what we call a tail tidy. That tidies up the tail. And I've done the same kind of thing on my R6. And the indicators that are on it are big, bulky, square, and they stick out in the back and they just don't suit the tidier rear end. So I've got some small LED indicators and I was having a bit of a problem getting them to work. I was back and forth to a friend's house just a couple of miles away who's good with like motorcycle electrics. And so this day I'm riding back from his house to my house. The indicators aren't on the back because we've taken them off at his house to work on them, and he's having a little play to sort out relays and things to make sure they work and they don't flash too quickly, and all the little bits need to be done. So they're off the bike, but front indicators are on the bike. I approach a roundabout, indicate to turn right. There's a police van on my left. So I go round the roundabout. He follows me down the hill. Instantly, blues and twos, pulled over. And get pulled over. Is this your vehicle, sir? All the rest of it. Yes, yes, yes. And he says, I noticed you don't have any indicators on the back. And I said, that's correct. But I was indicating using the ones on the front. And I can use my hand, if there's anything behind me, to make sure they know where I'm going to go. As you have done in your riding test, use your arms to indicate which way you want to do. All the rest of it. And I said, is there a problem with me not having them on the back? And he goes, I actually don't know. Let me find out. So when you go back to off-road bikes, they'll very often not have indicators. If you buy a purpose-built out of the showroom enduro bike that's made to go off-road and on-road, it will have indicators. But again, it's another one of the things people take off because they don't look particularly nice. And do you really need them? Easy to knock them off if you put your bike down off-road bikes. So a lot of people will get rid of them. And any sort of motocross bikes that have been converted to road use completely legally don't have to have indicators unless you've got them on the front. So when the policeman rang up and found out exactly what he needed, he basically said, I've got a bike here, I've stopped it, there's no indicators on the back, what's the rule? And they asked him, does it have indicators on the front? To which we replied, yes it does, and the rule is if you've got indicators on the front, you have to have them on the back, and obviously working as well. So at the time he actually gave me the option and said, either get some on the back or take the ones off the front. So there's no like, I've got some indication or full or not, you can't just have ones on the front or the back. Take them all off or have them all on, and that's the rule. And it's a rule that not that many people know about. And obviously it's quite an uncommon one, isn't it? So not many people are going to run one on the front and then none on the back. It just so happened that day, because I hadn't had the rear ones done yet, that I didn't have any on the back, but I did have on the front. So that's the rule on that one. If you've got them on the front, you have to have them on the back. If they're not on the front, you don't have to have them on the back. But if you've got one set, you have to have the other set, and they've got to be working. Obviously, if you're on your off-road bike, and you'll see even trials bikes that are road legal with a little plate, no indicators at all, but they're all road legal, because if you haven't got them on the front, you don't have to have them on the back, and that's that rule.